that are secular, that were done by artists that aren't really known for doing church music. And there's a really good answer for that, and that's because we want to. No, I'm just teasing. I'm teasing. No, there is a really good answer for it, and I'll explain it as best I can. You really got to go back. When Jake and I were kids, Dad had this truck. He had this white Ford F-150 Lariat 4x4 pickup truck, and I'm telling you, that was a ride back then. That was it, And we had this truck, and in it, back in my day, we listened to CDs, I'm getting no sympathy from you, none. I'm saying back in my day, I listened to CDs. Y'all are saying, yeah, wait till you get a load of the 8-track. You know what I mean? That's what y'all are thinking out there. Y'all remember the 8-tracks now.
Cassettes.
But I'm gonna tell you, with that truck, it was fun. That truck had an option on it, and I mean, this was that you were high rolling, man. You had this upgrade. It had a CD player and a cassette player in it. You know what I mean? So you didn't have to throw away all your old cassettes. That's what that truck had in it, and it was good too. We listened to a lot of stuff, but
that was a $high option, by the way. You had to pay for that option.
Yeah, and Dad had a lot of cassettes, so it was. We could still listen to the cassettes. But we had these CDs too. We had these CDs. And I remember a few of them in particular. There was one by a 90s country band called Diamond Rio. Y'all remember Diamond Rio at all? Hey now, I start walking your way, you start walking mine. Oh my word, that was a song right there. That was it, And we'd ride around listening to that record, and it was great. We had that record, and then we had one that was a little bit older by an 80s country artist named Ricky Skaggs. Y'all remember Ricky Skaggs? Hey now, I knew I'd get some Ricky Skaggs people right here in the Panhandle, Yeah, he was it, man. He had some good stuff. And we had a bluegrass album of his called Ancient Tones. And track number 9 was called Pig in a Pen. And I promise you, when I was 3 years old, I thought Pig in a Pen was the greatest song ever written. There was nothing like Pig in a Pen. You better not skip track number 9 now, you know what I mean? And so we had that album in there, and it was great. I love that record. And we also had one, now this was a little bit more Jake and I's era. This was more 2000s. There was a guy named Brad Paisley that we like to listen to a lot. There's a few Brad Paisley fans out there. I can hear you. And Brad, man, he could wear out a guitar. You know what I mean? We love listening to his albums, and he's a musical hero of ours. He's just brilliant with the way he plays. And so we would love to listen to his records. And we had one. He only had 2 albums out at the time. And the one we had was called Part 2. These country folk real clever about how we name stuff. You know what I mean? So we had that record, and I will never forget this. That was still is one of my favorite albums of all time. But it had a song on the end of it. The very last song on that album was a song that was recorded live at the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, Tennessee. Y'all know the Grand Ole Opry down here in Florida? Yeah, a few of you, all right. Well, it was recorded live at the Grand Ole Opry, and they introduced Brad Paisley, and he walked out to the front of the stage, just him and his acoustic guitar, and he played the Old Rugged Cross. And I remember that because I didn't expect it, Like I said, that was a musical hero of Jake and I's. He got out there and played a gospel song. I'll give you another one. We just sang a Randy Travis song a minute ago. One of the most famous recordings ever made at the Grand Ole Opry was Randy Travis singing Amazing Grace. Love that. I mean, I'll go that out. I listen to that all the time. And that was another one. I remember it because I didn't expect that. And I grew up listening to a lot of heroes of ours do that. I just told you, Brad and Randy, but we also listen to guys like Ricky Skaggs in a band called Rascal Flatts, Vince Gill, Carrie Underwood, Alan Jackson. They would all get out and they would do that same thing. And I'll tell you what that does. When you're a kid and you're watching your musical heroes, and you got to know, when you're at the Grand Ole Opry, you only get like 2 songs, you know what I mean? Or when you're on like an award show and you only get 1 song. And when you're a kid and you watch your musical heroes use the limited time that they have, they can play anything they want to, and nobody's expecting them. They don't have to play a gospel song. They don't have to talk about Jesus. But when they take the time to do that, in the time that they're given, I'll tell you what that does when kids like us would watch these singers get up and do that, and we go, man, if they're bold enough to do that, maybe I can do that. You know what I mean? If they can do it when nobody's expecting them to, how much more should we be able to get up and tell people about Jesus, you know? I'll give you one of the most famous examples that I know of. In most hymnals in America, if you open up a church hymnal, for churches that still got hymnals, you know, if you open up a hymnal, on the inside somewhere, most of the time, is a song called I Saw the Light. And some of you know that was written by a Grand Ole Opry star in Nashville called Hank Williams, a long time ago. But Hank Williams was somebody that had a lot of very public personal problems and died very young because of them. But he wrote a song that has blessed the church for decades, almost a century. Now, I don't really know what to do with that. You know what I mean? I don't know what to do with that, but I can tell you that it's impacted a lot of people, including us, and I'm sure some of y'all as well. And so I was in Nashville probably a few months ago. It was over the summer, and I wrote a song. I wrote the chorus of the song and sent it to a couple of friends of mine that write country music. And I told them, we got to write some verses to this and finish it up. And so we did. And we have not put out new music in about 3.5 years. It's been a long time. But if it's all right with y'all, can we play something brand new for you that's unreleased? We're going to try this. This is brand new. It's called God in the Grand Ole Opry.
Tuning in, this is WSM Radio. Daddy, can you turn it up a little more? As a kid, I couldn't wait to hear the songs they would play. It's like they were preaching in a way I'd never heard before. Those legends of Mother Church would sing. And their strings, and they were ramblers, and they were gamblers, they were outlaws like the cowboys on TV. They hit the bottle, but they played the gospel, and I learned about the cross, and rugged sinners just like me. One night I saw the light I always heard about from Hank. Yes, I had died in the Grand Ole Opry today. Well, they understood my pain, 'cause they weren't strangers to the rain. The good Lord knew I'd listen, 'cause they lived what I'd been through. If I was ever gonna see amazing grace, I found a place. 'Cause they were ramblers, they were gamblers, they were outlaws like the cowboys on TV. They hit the bottle, but they played the gospel. And I learned about the cross from rugged sinners just like me. One night I saw the light I always heard about from Hank. Yes, I had out in the Grand Ole Opry today. Yeah, the songs were still the same on Sunday morning, but I felt it more on Saturday night.
Because I'm going to tell you something. Broken people know how to talk to broken people.
And they were ramblers, and they were gamblers, They were outlaws like the cowboys on TV.